Hello, my good friends. Welcome back to the Sideline Conversations. It could be good morning where you are, good night, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are in the world. We like to thank you for joining us here. We are at a historic moment. Our interconfederation playoffs are set and almost and already done. 48 teams, 104 matches, three historic countries hosting the World Cup, the quadrennial global spectacle that they call the FIFA World Cup. My name is Marlon Hill, attorney with the law firm of Wasti. I'm coming to you live from the United States of America, celebrating 250 years this year, believe it. But I'm also joined here on the sideline. It's a call it a double header, maybe even a triple header. It's a let's just call it extra time here on the sideline. My good
Marlon, I
friend,
think I think at this point just call it penalties.
yeah, okay, let's call it penalty kicks for sure. JC Partida in Mexico City, the vibrant city there in North America, and my good friend up in the six in Toronto, Aarij Wasti in Toronto, holding it down. And but guys, we are almost at the finish line. But we have to also talk about the playoffs. Who's in? Who's out? How do you feel? We definitely have some thoughts about that. And we've had some great conversations here on the sideline with friends who are making it into the World Cup for the very first time. Uzbekistan has joined us here on the sideline. We had our good friends from Cape Verde joined us as well. And we can't leave out the Middle East. We're going to be speaking with our good friend Rahaf Owais, who is joining us from Jordan to give us a little bit of perspective of the excitement that the Jordanians are celebrating the World Cup. So, Rahaf, thank you for joining us here on the sidelines.
Ahlan wa
My
sahlan.
pleasure.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
Thank you, Aarij. I see you still have a bit of Arabic, so that's
Or
good.
Aklan wasalam. That's it.
that's it.
Thank you,
It's
guys.
easy. See, Marlon's
Yeah,
fluent in all languages.
yeah.
What time is it there now for you
It's uh, it's actually
in our
7:30
red
in the
eye
morning.
version
It's
in the
7:30
morning?
actually in the
Well,
morning.
thanks
So
thanks for joining us and carving out some
anytime,
time to share your
anytime. It's a
perspective.
pleasure.
I know that you have had a long-standing career in sports marketing and other issues related to the World Cup, and you yourself may have some breaking news to share with us as well. But thank you for joining us here on the sideline. First and foremost, how are you feeling about this qualification?
I mean, I think this is a very different World Cup from what we've seen before. There's more teams, there's more excitement, there's a lot of work being done behind the scenes to make it a successful one. We see a lot of countries qualifying for the first time, so I think it's going to be an experience, and I think hosting it in the US is also something that we haven't seen for a while. So, and I think it is the nation of fan and of entertainment. So, I think we're all looking forward to it, honestly.
Excellent, excellent. JC?
Yes, Rahaf, on this historic qualification of Jordan, can you describe the moment when Jordan qualified for its first World Cup? What did it mean for the federation, the players, the people of Jordan? How did that happen? I mean, how do you feel about it?
I think there's always a smile on my face when anyone asks me that question.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked with the association for a number of years. I've done a few FIFA events. It's a different feeling. I mean, I cannot speak for all Jordanians, but if you are just in Jordan on that day in June, then you would see it as if it was. I can describe it as a national holiday that day.
Oh,
Everyone
nice.
was out in the streets. Everyone was celebrating. It was a joyful day. I mean, coming from a region with a lot of conflict, there's so much going on around us. It was truly something to remember. I mean, even when you look at the federation was established around 75 years ago, and I think for them that's like really hard work paying off. we are led, the president of the association is Prince Ali bin Hussein, and he's been leading the association for the past 26 years. And it truly was a translation for his vision into reality. And it actually, it describes how every single Jordanian was feeling on that day. It was very special. We had a lot of support from the royal family. It was truly memorable, you know, and especially that we qualified early on. It was just different. It felt well deserved. The team worked very hard to get there. So I think it's a life-changing moment, especially for the players. I mean, when you look at the players now, their contracts are different. They have more exposure. So it's really amazing to see what football and the World Cup and this qualification can actually do to the country specifically.
Okay.
What is your perception, Rahaf, as to what did the team do different this last 4 years that you think made the difference to create this excitement for the nation?
I think this is actually the second time that we were close to qualifying. Back in 2014, we were just very close to qualify. I was still working with the association hands-on back then. And we all saw this team that really wanted to work hard to achieve, but they were not lucky enough to qualify. They were playing against Uruguay in the playoffs, so it was quite difficult. I think the main factor is the change that happened within the association. When you look at their strategy right after COVID, all the changes that happened after the pandemic, things really changed within the management, and they cascaded down and reached even the players. So I think there was also a national movement within the country. I mean, it's quite different after the qualification, but before that, you can just call it like soldiers walking and working behind the scenes. Yeah, I think it was a lot of hard work, but it was a lot of management changes and like a lot of hard work being done in the background.
Take us into the mood of the federation and around the team, managing that excitement with some of the conflict and instability that's in the region right now. How is everyone managing those emotions and that reality right now? Give us your perspective on that.
I mean, honestly speaking, everyone is affected by everything happening around the Middle East and the Gulf. Specifically for Jordan, we're right in the middle of the conflict. I think that has made it a bit more difficult for the association to prepare as well as they have planned early on after the qualification. They have been very proactive. They adapt pretty well to change. They've been very proactive in the planning of the friendly matches, of the players. It hasn't been easy, but I think they're managing it in the best way possible. I mean, at the end of the day, the financial resources of the association are not endless. So it's not like we can solve our problems and with financial resources. It's just being a bit strategic and having different plans that can actually solve the issues that we're facing around the region.
Aarij, your family is in near proximity to the region, and you also worked in the region in the last World Cup. How are you feeling about a country like Jordan qualifying for the World Cup and preparing? Do you have a different emotion about that as well?
No, I think I look. You know, it's a very close-knit region, and I think the success of one team is really the success of the entire region. Morocco was a great example of that in the 22 World Cup. Rahaf, you'll recall the entire country. Once the Qatari team had bowed out of the tournament, rallied around the other Arab nations, including Morocco, that obviously went very, very deep into the tournament. So I think all of these successes that we're now seeing, including representation by Jordan at the World Cup, is being celebrated. I think there's a part of us that kind of feels like, wow, this is coming at a difficult time, right? There's obviously a lot of challenges. The logistics is the least of all. But I mean, there's real lives. There's real people affected by this. On the other hand, there's this other perspective that perhaps they will be, as you said earlier, the world will take this as an opportunity to pause, reflect, and allow the World Cup to be the celebration that it's meant to be, and that inclusive celebration, including the Arab culture, around the teams that are representing the region. So I completely hear Rahaf and what she's saying, and I fully agree and appreciate that.
Yeah, Aarij. So, Rahaf, you've worked in marketing for many, many years. What can we expect from the Jordanian fans? Are they going to be traveling? Are they already here in the United States? What are you hearing and seeing in the WhatsApp chats?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of WhatsApp chats and conversations happening around people traveling. Honestly, I think if we were doing this podcast a month or 2 months ago, my answer would be very different. But I think the main thing that everyone is talking about right now, like specifically the fans, is we all want to be there, but there's some difficulties related to visas, to appointments, to getting the visa at the right time. I think everything happening is causing a hassle for the Jordanian fans who are in Jordan and in different parts of the world. Rest assured that every single Jordanian would love to travel and to watch the team. However, I think there are some certain difficulties within the visa issue. I think it's also worth mentioning the cost associated with traveling to the World Cup, staying in the US, the accommodation, transportation, all the logistical aspects behind it. The last World Cup in Qatar, and I think Aarij, you can add on that. It was a lot easier for people to travel. However, when you look at the government, at the association, at the people, everyone is trying to support the fans in the best means possible. You see travel packages being launched from travel agents, from Royal Jordanian, who is the official carrier of the national team. They're adding additional flights. So they're trying to the best of their knowledge and to the best of their ability. And I'm sure that the Jordanian fans in the US they also have a very, very ambitious program. A few months ago, or right after the qualification, the Jordanian community in the US, they actually announced their plans and what they're planning to do for Jordanians who are traveling as a fan coordination movement. They have announced two main initiatives. One of them is the House of Nashama. Nashama, of course, I think you're going to hear this word a lot when it comes to Jordan. It's like the nickname of the national team. Nashama means courage, pride, and it's always associated with the Jordanian team. So
Nashama, how do you spell that?
Nashama, it's Nashama.
That was a trick question, Rahaf. You were supposed to spell it in Arabic.
I think. I mean, okay. Let's leave that to the end of our podcast, and we can actually do a run of spelling it.
Yeah,
exactly. Marlon is very good at spelling in English. We'll see how he does in Arabic.
Yeah. All right.
So Rahaf, I bet that the Jordanian government is also planning events within Jordan for all those people that may not be able to travel or have difficulty getting visas to have this World Cup experience, even at home, following the team or following the World Cup. Is this something that is being organized, if you know?
Yeah, I mean, the government has been issuing a number of programs that are associated with the national team, going again with the vibe of our team qualifying since they actually qualified. Even if we take it a step back, the moment, sorry, it's a bit early in the morning, so my voice is still not ready. When we look at the government and the royal family who leads this country, since the day that Jordan will qualify, the king announced that there will be a new stadium established for the team and for the association. The government, from their side, issued a few laws to assist companies to actually encourage them to sponsor the national team. And add to that, they are doing a lot of programs during the World Cup time to support the team. I think the government is very understanding of the situation of the visas and difficulty of Jordanians traveling, but you can just imagine that the whole country will be pausing for a bit and just to watch the matches. When you look at timing, I think the timing of the matches for the Jordan team will be early on in the morning in Jordan. So I
Okay.
think everyone will be arriving late to work on those days.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mexico, when Mexico plays in the World Cup, everything stops. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's night, day, or morning. Yeah, we are a very soccer-oriented country, so yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
As is Jordan. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
that came through, right? I mean, the passion in the region is.
Yeah.
I mean, soccer is football is obviously a sport that's loved the world over. Rahaf, in terms of that, support for sponsors for the national team and kind of bringing that corporate support, if you will, to the game. Do you think there'll be an uptake in or traction of Jordanian companies traveling to the U.S., promoting their brands, getting the message out? What do you think that'll look like in the different host cities that Jordan travels to?
I mean, locally speaking, we see a lot of attention going to the national team and even to the players themselves. I think it's really nice that the association is even encouraging local companies to sponsor the players and not only the association. And this actually reflects very well on the players. Because at the end of the day, we have a team and we have players, and you need to also acknowledge the players. We've seen a massive increase in the number of sponsors and commercial agreements between the association and different companies. However, going to how they will promote themselves in the US, I think everyone will be careful with brand protection and the ability to promote their brands in the right way. I'm sure they will find ways to associate themselves with the brands. There will be a lot of brands announcing their partnerships or activating their partnerships during the World Cup locally and massively working on it. Like right now, even if you just walk around in the streets of Jordan, you see all the sponsors having advertisements in the streets, cheering the team on until they get to the World Cup. However they plan to promote it within the host cities, they will have a lot of guidance from the association, I think, in what they can and what they cannot do. But I honestly haven't heard the plans yet. So I think we will see a lot happening from the fans and the companies, but all within the guidance, under the guidance of the association itself.
So Rahaf, in terms of promoting the country, and I mean, we know that Jordan has some of the most beautiful and historical sites the world over, including Petra, the Dead Sea. Amman itself is a beautiful city. Do you foresee sort of that tourism or national tourism advertising and promotion in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada this summer? Because we've heard from other guests from other countries where really that is the focus as opposed to the more commercial nature of marketing.
Honestly speaking, I think Jordan going to the World Cup is the perfect opportunity to promote Jordan. I mean, for us as a country, it is football, it is the participation. However, if you want to simplify it, it's just every player and administrative and fan acting as an ambassador for Jordan in the US. It's the perfect opportunity to reflect the history, the culture, the modernization, and everything happening in Jordan. As you mentioned, there's a lot of historical sites, there's a lot of culture, and it is, at the end of the day, a very safe country. It is the perfect opportunity to promote the country. There's also a lot of movement from the tourism authority to promote Jordan within the time of the qualification. I think we've also seen a lot of discussions happening around the increase of the search of the word Jordan within search engines on specific days. The day that they qualified, the official draw day, Uh, some numbers reached 500% from countries such as Spain, for example. So we're hoping that that will actually shift the perception a bit towards Jordan being a very safe country, promoting the country the way we want. And I think this is why the embassy, the Jordanian embassy in the US, is also doing a lot of efforts to work with the Jordanian community to be able to reflect what the country really is within the Jordanian fans and reflect the culture to everyone. Some people, I'm 100% sure a lot of people, this will be the first time in their life that they might have heard of Jordan or even met a Jordanian. So we're hoping to reflect a very positive image of the country.
Oh, what a wonderful opportunity. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and I think one wonderful advantage, really, in a way, is that Jordan is playing two of its first three matches in the Bay Area. A super inclusive city, a fantastic stadium, a great fan base, and then the third match in Texas. I mean, there's obviously a lot of Arabs in the Dallas area, including a lot of doctors, and so I think there'll be a lot of support in the stadiums. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to have that exchange and make it a meaningful opportunity for Jordan and the country.
Rahaf, it's been great having you here on the sideline, but before we let you go, however, though, you have to let us know, where can anyone find out more about the Jordanian football team or about Jordan in general? World Cup is always a teaching moment and a learning moment for all of us.
I think the best way to know about the Jordanian team is just to just go on social media. I mean, nowadays, a long time ago, we used to send press releases, but now it's all online. If you just go on Instagram, on Facebook, and you just type Jordan FA, then you'll get the official page of the association. You'll see a lot of behind the scenes, you'll see a lot of results, player moments, and I think this is what fans are really looking for nowadays. And this is what people want to see, and we're trying to reflect the best of the team, the preparations, the country through our social media channels. Even if fans want to know about Jordan itself, then you can just go on Visit Jordan, which is the official tourism authority in Jordan, and it gives you a really in-depth overview of Jordan, the Jordan Pass, how you can get there, and all the details, touristic details related to the country. Different ways, but I think hopefully we'll be able to encourage everyone to visit Jordan soon. Hopefully we'll do a great result in the World Cup, and we're hoping for the best. I mean, it's once in a lifetime opportunity, so we're going to make the best out of it.
Well, we're wishing you the best of luck. How do we say best of luck in Arabic?
Bin Tawfiq.
Bin Tawfiq.
Bil Tawfiq.
Bin Tawfiq.
Bil Tawfiq.
Bil Tawfiq. Bil Tawfiq.
So before we end the Jordan segment, Marlon, can you spell Al Nashama now?
Can I spell?
Nashama.
Oh, Nasham.
I do.
N-A-H.
No?
No.
N-A-S-H.
N-A-S-H-A-M-A.
There you go.
Nasham.
There you go. Easy.
Bil Tawfiq. Rahaf Owais, Jordanian sports marketing executive extraordinaire, joining us here on the sideline. It's great to have you here on the program. Wishing you the best of luck, Bil Tawfiq, and look forward to welcoming you to North America, to Mexico,
Yes.
United States, and Canada. All the best to you and the team and the rest of the federation. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys. We'll see you
Thank you,
all soon,
Rahaf.
hopefully.
Good to see you.
Thank you guys.
Take care.
Good to see
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Bye.